Welcome back to the museum at Ashby's Fort and this edition of Fort Talk. My name is Randy Crane, and many of our visitors ask how people got news in the colonial times. After all, this is long before electricity, radio, television, the telegraph, and of course, the internet. There were really only two ways: newspapers and gossip. Now, gossip may have been more fun, but newspapers were relied upon to be far more accurate. Very few colonists could afford a newspaper, though, mainly because of the high cost of paper. There was a way, though, that people could get access to the local paper, and that was by visiting a tavern. Taverns existed throughout the colonies and served as a place you could stay overnight while traveling. You could also get meals at a tavern as well as a drink or two at the bar. This was inviting not only to the overnight travelers, but to local townspeople as well. Tavern keepers bought a subscription to a newspaper as a service to their clientele. Many locals would head to the tavern, meet with friends over a meal or a drink, and read the paper while they were there to catch up on current events, politics, social happenings, and read the ads for items for sale, which included everything from land, tools, homes, horses, and even slaves. Newspapers were published by printers who meticulously laid out the print by hand for every week's paper, then spent days producing enough copies to send out to clients for far and wide. The Virginia Gazette was printed in Williamsburg in the 1750s by a printer named William Hunter. The Virginia Gazette was distributed throughout the colony of Virginia and not only reported on local news, but reprinted stories from elsewhere in the colonies and from back in Europe as well. European news was always at least 6 weeks old the time it took to arrive by ship. Newspapers were not very profitable by themselves, so printers also published promotional things, pamphlets, books, and advertised them in their newspapers. Benjamin Franklin was the most famous printer in the colonies and was the publisher of the Pennsylvania Gazette. In fact, it was Franklin who sold the raw material to the Virginia Gazette to make their newsprint. News learned from the paper would be shared by word of mouth to friends and neighbors. People traveling from one colony to another would also bring news from their colony and would share it with others of whatever tavern they were visiting. The news of what happened at Lexington and Concord, for example, spread to all 13 colonies within 3 weeks of the battles. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Fort Talk.